Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. And if you're new, this is the place where we go deep into the real truths of the twin flame journey, the wisdom, not just the fantasy, not just the sugar coated story that you want to hear, but the raw initiations of remembrance, collapse, and sacred triggering, and eventually divine union. And today's teaching is something that so many of you will resonate with. It's 1:04 a.m., so just bear with me. So today's teaching is something that many of you may truly connect with, and especially because in separation we deal with so much fear, and because this topic, it touches the core of what makes this journey both unbearable and beautiful at the same time. So we're going to talk about fear, specifically the fear of losing him. Fear that what if he never ever comes back, or fear that what if union is never possible. That constant anxiety that grips us, the divine feminine, before union. We're going to talk about that. And then what happens when the fear dissolves? And what happens when union recalibrates your body, your nervous system, your entire way of being? Because here's the truth: when union happens, it's not just a change in your relationship status, it's a change in your biology. It's a change in how your body experiences safety. Your nervous system shifts from being locked in vigilance and survival into finally remembering what it feels like to be home in love. And once the embodied recalibration takes place, the fear of losing him is no longer the dominant theme of your life. You stop bracing for impact. You stop scanning the field. You stop feeling like you're going to collapse at any moment. Instead, your body exhales, your heart expands, and love becomes safe, grounding, and natural. So let's start here. What does it feel like before union? So, for many of us, this will sound painfully familiar. Before union, and I'm talking about stabilizing union. The divine feminine, as the divine feminine, we are in a constant state of hypervigilance. And I want to really name what that means, because sometimes we gloss over it just as anxiety or fear of abandonment. But the truth is, this is a full body state of survival. Our nervous system is wired to scan for danger, and you might not even realize how much of your daily life is affected by this. But let me give you some examples. You'll wake up in the morning, and the first thought is he thinking of me? Will I hear from him today? Did I do something wrong? Your heart races before you even get out of bed. You go through your day, but underneath your work, your errands, your conversations, there's a background hum of unease. It's like a static that never shuts off, and that static says, what if he disappears again? What if I misread the signs? What if this connection isn't real? And at night, you might try to meditate, pray, or distract yourself, but your body doesn't listen. The heart races, the breath is shallow. Sometimes you even feel pressure in the chest or knots in your stomach. And this is not just emotional insecurity. This is your nervous system living in fight or flight. Now, why does this happen? You may ask me this question. Because our soul and our body are experiencing two different realities. Our soul knows our divine masculine is ours. Our soul knows the connection is eternal, inevitable, indestructible. But our body is looking at the 3D reality, the rejection, the silence, the karmic interference, and saying, this is a threat. This is a threat. I'm not safe. I might lose him forever. And that mismatch creates a constant loop of panic. Our soul is saying safe, but our body is saying danger, and our nervous system, being the bridge between our soul and physical self, goes into overdrive trying to reconcile these two realities. And that's why you can't just think your way out of fear. That's why affirmations sometimes feel like they don't work, because your nervous system remembers the pain of every collapse, every I'm not interested, I don't want to be with you, I don't feel you, I don't, all of that that the divine masculine would say to distort the field. Our nervous system remembers the feeling of every silence, of the abandonment, of the pain. And until union recalibrates, the system stays wired for threat. So that's why I want to move on into what happens when union actually anchors. Because union is not just about finally being together in the 3D. All right? It's not just about being able to say, hey, he's back. Union is so much more than that. Union is an embodied recalibration. It is your body, your nervous system, your whole being finally recognizing safety. And when union happens, something shifts at the deepest level. The body that once braced for rejection starts to soften. The heart that once beat faster every time you thought of him starts to slow into steadiness. The constant static of anxiety that used to hum in the background begins to fade. And you realize you are no longer living in anticipation of loss. You are living in the presence of love. And now, what does this recalibration actually look like? It means the fear of abandonment, the fear of collapse, the fear of rejection, all starts to lose their power. Not because you talked yourself out of them, not because you forced your mind to be positive, but because the field between you has stabilized. And when the field stabilizes, the body follows. The hormones in your body literally shift. Before union, it's cortisol and adrenaline, the stress chemicals, right, dominate our system. After union, those begin to retreat, and in this place, instead of cortisol and adrenaline, oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine, the chemicals of bonding and peace begin to rise. Like, when you first meet, when you're first hanging out, like when you're going for hikes and all of that, when you're like cooking together, incidents like that, and it will come back when you come into union again. So union is not just a spiritual event, it's a biological event. Our body chemistry changes, our heart rhythm changes, our breath deepens. You would find yourself sleeping better, eating more calmly, even thinking with more clarity, because our nervous system has recalibrated. Think of it like this. Imagine someone has been holding their breath underwater for years, not knowing when they will be allowed to come up. The panic, the tightness, the desperation, it's unbearable, right? And then suddenly they break to the surface and take a deep inhale. That relief, that release, that natural flow of oxygen into the body, that's what union feels like. It's the body remembering what it is to breathe love instead of fear. And this is why the fear of losing him dissolves, not because you finally have control, but because you no longer need it. The body doesn't brace for impact anymore. It doesn't live in the question of what if. It just knows. It trusts and it rests. There are three core reasons the fear dissolves in union. The first is that the nervous system recalibrates. And once union anchors, the body no longer anticipates danger. It begins to expect presence instead of absence. Where it once thought he might leave any moment, now it naturally assumes he's here. The second reason is that the third energy stabilizes. Before union, the field between you can feel fragile, like it could slip away at any moment, and that instability is what fuels the panic. But once union is embodied, the third energy becomes solid. You no longer feel like the connection could vanish overnight. And that's why I'm talking about stabilizing union, stable union here. It becomes a reality in your cell, you know. And the third reason is that union proves inevitability. After cycles of separation and return, the soul finally accepts the truth. We will always come back. We always find each other. He's mine and I'm his. And at that point, the bond no longer feels like a hope or a gamble. It feels like the only possible reality. And this is when the body stops fighting itself. So no more mismatch between soul truth and physical experience. The nervous system catches up with the soul and says, I understand now, we are safe, we are home. And at that moment is life changing. It's the difference between living in survival and living in love. So that's why I wanted to go more deeper into what happens after embodied recalibration takes place, right? Because once the nervous system stabilizes, it's not about feeling calmer in love. The effects ripple through your entire psychology, your entire spirituality, and your life path. So let's start with, as the divine feminine. What happens? Before union, we carry so much anxiety, so much self doubt. We constantly ask ourselves if we misread the connection, if we have done something wrong, if we are going to be abandoned again. That anxiety hijacks not just your heart, but your creativity, your work, your friendships, your body. But in union, the weight begins to lift. You stop waiting for rejection. You stop preparing for heartbreak. You stop living in the question of what if I lose him? And as the anxiety lifts, something incredible happens. Your self trust begins to deepen. You feel safe to trust your own knowing again. You feel safe to lean into your gifts again. Creativity that was once blocked by fear suddenly flows. Your spiritual connection sharpens, even your physical body starts to heal because it's no longer flooded with stress chemistry. For the divine masculine, this shift is just as powerful, even though it often looks different on the surface. Before union, his nervous system, our divine masculine nervous system, is often locked in survival mode. That's why he runs. That's why he literally runs. Like that's why he runs in such a humiliating way. If you really look back, when he runs away from you, it's actually very, very, very heartbreaking. Because when the divine masculine runs, the pain we go through as the divine feminine, can never be expressed in words. Like, part of us will be like, what is so scary about us? A part of you is like, what can we do to him that is running away? A part of you starts feeling like something is wrong with you, that you're extremely ugly, you're extremely what you are, that he has to run. And that pain. Sometimes you wonder, like, will he ever understand it? Like, does he even understand it? Like, why would he do that to you? But that's why he walls up. That's why he avoids, because his system literally doesn't know how to sit in the intensity of love. His survival patterns tell him hide, defend, detach. But in union, his system begins to soften. The walls that once felt like protection start to melt. The fear of being overwhelmed, of not being good enough, of being consumed, it starts to lose its grip. And he finds that he can dwell in presence instead of retreating into survival. He learns that he can actually relax in love rather than brace against it. And then at the spiritual level, the effect is even bigger. Once union anchors, the third energy between you becomes a field of expansion. rather than contraction. Before union, the field often feels like it's shrinking, collapsing, full of tension and noise. But after union, the field opens. That's why it becomes like a fertile ground for mission work, for co-creation, for timelines to open effortlessly. Suddenly, opportunities appear, travel flows, healing accelerates. Everything you were trying so hard to do becomes suddenly begins to come with ease. Why? Because embodied recalibration isn't just about your nervous system, it's about your soul finally having the vessel it needs to expand. Fear contracts, love expands, and when the body stops living in fear, expansion becomes the natural state again. Think of it this way: before union, you're spending 80% of your energy on survival, trying to manage the fear of loss, trying to cope with the unknown, trying to soothe the pain. After union, all that energy is freed up, and when the energy is freed, it flows into creation, into mission, into joy, into service. Union doesn't just feel good emotionally, it restores our physiology to its original blueprint of love. It's like our cells start to remember, this is what we were designed for, not to brace for abandonment, not to live in fear, but to live in connection, in co regulation, in divine safety. And this is why the union state feels so different from anything else, because it's just not romance, it's just not relationships, it's your whole being, body, mind, soul, recalibrated back into truth. Now I want to talk about something that's really, really important. Union doesn't mean life suddenly becomes perfect. It doesn't mean you'll never face challenges again. That would be wishful thinking, right? From my own experience, what I can say is what changes in union is how those challenges are metabolized, how your nervous system respond to them, and how you move through them together. Before union, even small conflicts feel devastating. A missed call can trigger panic, a disagreement can feel like abandonment, a pause in communication can send you spiraling into doubt. That's because your nervous system is still wired to expect loss. It doesn't take much to set off the alarms and throw you into a fear of collapse, right? But in union, the foundation is different. Once embodied, recalibration takes place. The nervous system doesn't default to panic anymore. Conflict is no longer immediately equated with separation. Silence is no longer experienced as abandonment. Instead of spiraling, the system has learned to remain steady, to co regulate, to find safety in connection even when tension arises. And what does that look like in practice? It means that when you disagree, you don't immediately brace for him to leave. You can hold the space, breathe, and communicate without the background hum of this is the end. It means that when life throws challenges your way, it could be financial stress, family dynamics, family expansion, having children, external pressures, you no longer collapse into fear of losing each other. You face it together as a team because the nervous system knows we are safe, we are not going anywhere. It also means that cycles of push and pull begin to dissolve. You're no longer trapped in that exhausting dance of chasing and withdrawing. Instead, there's a natural rhythm of presence, closeness, and even healthy space without fear. Space no longer means loss. Silence no longer means rejection. It simply means the relationship has matured into steadiness.